welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Courtney of It's Courtney Dawn, and I'm simply just a baby adult trying to figure out life, but I'm taking y'all with me. Today, I want to talk about pageantry and how to get started as a pageant competitor. I will be competing in the Miss North Carolina USA pageant at the end of January. So I figured I would kick off my series of prepping and showing you through pageant weekend with how to get started in pageantry. For me, my interest kind of started simply by watching Toddlers and Tiaras. I didn't know much about pageants. I grew up as a competitive dancer, and so they're similar in the sense of being able to wear makeup, put on pretty costumes, and perform, but they're also very different. And so watching that on TV was kind of my small outlet into the pageant world. And then I started to watch like the Miss America competition on TV and the Miss USA competition on TV, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It didn't really hit me that I could compete in pageants until I was like a sophomore in high school. There's a girl who I attend church with that competed at the Miss North Carolina pageant in 2013, and she placed in the top 5. For me, this was a big deal because she's a brown girl, so she looks like me. And, that was one of the first times that I saw myself on a television screen competing as a pageant girl. And so I decided that I was going to start competing that next season as an outstanding teen. And that's what I did. It was not, like a one and done. I didn't automatically win. There were a lot of lessons learned in my first season of pageantry, but I competed in my first preliminary. Didn't win, but 5 prelims later, I was fortunate enough to be crowned Miss Mecklenburg County's Outstanding Teen, and I had an incredible year. I went on to compete at Miss North Carolina's Outstanding Teen, and while I did not win, I learned a lot through the experience, and I told myself, why would I quit this? I'm not gonna give it up. Now, I did age out of Outstanding Teen, so I took a little bit of time off because I was in the process of getting through senior year of high school, graduating, and going to college. And then I went back and started competing as a Miss. But let me tell you, that first year set the foundation. I had an executive director that, she puts on the pageant, but she's also the mentor that you have throughout the year while you prepare to go to the state competition. She's family to me now. I don't know where I would be without her in pageantry. She has helped me tremendously, and I think that, I was meant to win that preliminary. I was meant to be with her for that year because I have grown so much and I've learned so much, and not just as a competitor, but in general. And so if I could encourage anyone online to decide to compete in pageantry, not just for a crown, but for all that you gain outside of that, then I will be very pleased. How do you get started in competing in your own pageant? My first piece of advice is simply to go to Google. Every state is different. I live in North Carolina, which is in the South, so it's a little bit more of a prominent state for pageantry. We have festival pageants. We have the Miss America organization, the Miss USA organization, which, by the way, they do have state pageants in every state. So if you go to their websites, you will be pointed in the direction of how to become a competitor. But there's so many other systems and opportunities. So I just recommend going online and doing a simple Google search of pageants to see if there's something that you may have heard of or you may not know about at all, and figure out, does this align with what I want to do in pageantry? Am I going to be able to compete? Do I meet the requirements? There are age requirements and things that you need to have in order to be eligible as a competitor for certain systems. So just doing a simple Google search to get your research together, figure out what systems you may be interested in, what systems you may be applicable for, that is your first step. Next, I'd encourage you to go to social media. Most title holders these days are required to have some sort of social media presence, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even TikTok. And this is to showcase the journey of a title holder. You get to see appearances that are made, the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a title holder. And every system is different with the expectations that they set. So I recommend going on social media, looking at your local representatives to see if that's something that aligns with who you are and how you want to compete in pageantry, because there are different requirements and sometimes people aren't comfortable with the expectations that are set. If you win a title and you sign a contract and agree to hold that title for the year, that is a job. That is what's expected of you. And it's hard work. It's not always going to be easy, but it's fulfilling work. And so be mindful of that when you're deciding where you want to compete. Next, look at your goals for competing. What is it that you want to achieve? For me, when I started, scholarship was very important to me. There was no question about whether or not I was going to attend college, but I did know that college was expensive and I needed to figure out a way to kind of help cover the expenses. My parents paid for a little bit of my college tuition. However, through competing in the Miss North Carolina pageant, I was fortunate enough to earn scholarship money and graduate debt-free as an undergraduate student, which is incredible because now I'm in grad school and I pay for that myself and it's not cheap. So if, scholarship is something that is driving you to compete in pageantry, find a system that donates or provide scholarship opportunities to their winners and also just to competitors. There are some systems you don't even have to win to earn scholarship money. You just simply have to go compete. And so try to find things that align with the goals that you have. Now, there are other systems that will help boost your career. Working in the entertainment industry, they may offer a modeling contract once you win a specific title, and that can boost your career in many different ways. It opens you up to a network of people in whichever industry you're in, and it allows you to kind of get your foot in the door. There are also opportunities in community service. Most title holders make appearances and do a lot of things in their communities without being paid. Speaking about the community service that you do and being able to show others that you give back and support your communities is important. And if nonprofit work or working in your community is something that interests you, find a system that allows you to do that and be really great at it. Everyone is different. Every job, just like going on LinkedIn to find a job, every title holder's job is going to be different. So really sit down and think about the goals that you have. For me, when I was younger, scholarship was like top of mind. Community service is also incredibly important to me. And so those are the two main forces for why I got into pageantry. Now that I'm older, it's a little bit different, but I still value being able to go and support my community. And now I have a little bit more of a focus on empowering young children to achieve their goals and their dreams. And so for me, with the Miss USA organization, I relate to the Confidently Beautiful and Pageantry Reimagined slogans, encouraging everyone to feel comfortable in their own skin, but also identifying that pageants are not what they once were. And so, you are a title holder and you do have expectations, but really take the year and make it something that you are proud of and leave a legacy, and don't just copy everyone else before you. Everyone is different. They're going to do different things with their title. They're going to be known for different things with their title. What do you want your legacy to be? And so that's what's drawing me to the Miss USA organization. I would also like to add a disclaimer that there is no right or wrong pageant system to compete in. It's simply just determining which system is best for you. Once you've taken a look at title holder Instagrams or even the Instagram of an organization, really sit down and think or look at what the requirements are for competing. All phases of competition are different depending on the pageant. Some pageants have a talent competition, which requires you to showcase a talent. Others may have a fitness or swimsuit portion, and not everyone is comfortable wearing a swimsuit in front of an audience. If that's something you're not comfortable doing, find a system that doesn't require that. There are so many different phases of competition based on what each system is looking for. So I encourage you to really sit down, look at your goals, look at the phases of competition, and see if they align and if this is a system you could see yourself being a part of. Moving on to cost. Pageants can be expensive, but they don't have to be. So just breaking down some of the expenses you may incur. So prior to competing in a pageant, there may be a registration fee, which signs you up to be a contestant. This can range in dollar amount depending on the system. So if it's something you're not comfortable spending a lot of money on, find another system. Next is going to be preparation. For me, this consists of getting your wardrobe, hair, makeup, a headshot if you need it. Really sit down and look at your budget and identify if you are able to compete or if it's something that you may need support on. Just because you personally don't have the finances to compete in a pageant does not mean you can't find someone to help sponsor you competing in a pageant. There are so many local businesses and organizations that love to give back to their communities. I recommend going out and talking with these businesses and asking them if they would be open to sponsoring services. I know a lot of young girls who compete in the Miss America organization. They have sponsors who sponsor eyelashes for them, makeup services, hair, nails, wardrobe. There's so many different opportunities. And I think that you shouldn't let cost hold you back. But if it's something that you want to be mindful of, make sure that you're setting that budget. I personally can't tell you how much to spend because there are pageant gowns that could cost you $100 and then they go upwards of thousands of dollars. Find what makes you look and feel your best. Next with preparation is coaching. Coaching is not a requirement. Pageants are pretty simple and easy. You just fill out the paperwork and describe yourself to the best of your ability. And if you have an interview phase, talk to the judges about who you are. I would just ensure that you know what's on your paperwork and be able to speak to things that are important to you. One key tool that I use is what are 3 things I want judges to know about me before I leave an interview room or before I, complete competition, whether that's on stage or privately in an interview. And so I would recommend, writing down a few things that you want judges to remember about you or something that you can't let the day end without letting them know. I hope this video gives you a few tools, tips, and tricks to help you get started on your pageantry journey. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram and I'd be happy to help y'all out. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you in the next video. Bye friends.